Started us. So, hey, I am now on the line with a Miss Sayana Isid'or, who is a Kizomba, Semba, Afrohouse dancer and instructor. You were born in France, but you currently live in Maryland. Is that correct?
Yes,
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Sure enough, I really appreciate you taking time out to talk to me, Sayana.
Thanks for the invitation.
Hey. So I'm pretty sure I found you on Instagram. I'm pretty sure that's how it all happened. I saw
Okay, no, I didn't know actually, so I'm curious.
I saw you dancing. I was like, oh man, you're a really great dancer. I had to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Of course, of course, of course. So I guess I want to start this podcast out. I'm very curious to hear about your childhood growing up in France. What was that like for you?
Oh, okay. So I was born in the countryside, in a little village. We were like 200 inhabitants. It's really, really small. 2 hours in the north of Paris. Um, so we were like, I think we were two black families there, and it was great. I loved it. I spent.
What part of France were you born in?
Mhm. So I was born in an area called Picardy in France. So it's 2 hours in the north of Paris.
Okay. How you
Yeah,
say it? Picardine? Is that what you said?
Picardy. so,
Okay.
so yeah, I was born there. I spent 8 years. Then I moved to French Guiana. So French Guiana is is it's a little country, but it's a French colony, and it's close to Brazil, between Brazil and Suriname in South America. So I moved there with my mom and my sister, and I lived there for 4.5 years, something like that. So the good thing is it was close to Brazil, and it was the first time that I was meeting people from Jamaica, Haiti, uh, you know, Brazilians. It was culturally it was really rich, so I loved it.
Yeah.
And yeah, then we went back to France, close to Paris this time, and I spent I think 6 years there. Then I moved to another part of France, far from the family, and then I moved to UK, come back to France, and moved here a year and a half ago.
Okay, you traveling lady, traveling woman.
A little bit.
Hey. So, well, let me ask you this
A
then.
little bit.
If you don't mind me asking, can I ask what did your parents do?
They are not military. military. It was just me moving, and
Oh.
my parents moving. But no, no, no. They are, you know, yeah, not from army or
Okay,
something.
so born and raised in Paris or in France until you
In
grew
France.
up?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. Going back to your childhood, how important was music in your household growing up?
That was really important. So we had like the Sunday. Sunday was the cleaning day at home, and my dad used to put music like all day. My dad listens to everything. When I say everything, during the day it was Queen, Bob Marley, Super Trump, uh, uh, Caribbean music, salsa. It was going all over the place. So,
Oh,
so I grew up listening to a lot of different type of music because my dad was really eclectic. Yeah, listening to everything. Um, and started to dance because during family reunion we were always dancing, and we were dancing on Latin music, African music, Caribbean music, everything, everything. So that's
okay.
how it started. Yeah.
Where is your father from?
My father is from Guadeloupe. Do you know
I do
where it
know,
is?
definitely. Yeah, I know Guadalupe, definitely.
Okay, so my dad is from there,
And what about your mother?
French Guiana.
Ah, okay, okay, sure enough. Okay, so you're growing up with parents from Guadalupe and French Guyana. Please
Hmm.
tell me, what was it like growing up in that household?
What do you mean?
I mean, growing up in that household with your parents from Guadalupe and French.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. In France with parents from Caribbean, you mean?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, what was that household like?
I so I've got a big sister. Um, I was the I was the crazy one. I'm the last one. um, I was the crazy one at home, but when we were outside, everybody loved me. I was super quiet,
Okay, okay.
and um, but I couldn't, stay still. I always needed to do something. I was always with my dad because I love cars and stuff like that. So I was always with him, going everywhere. Um, yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't know. It was it was easy, I would say. My parents never really spoiled us, but actually I think it was a good thing because now I'm not about material really, just enjoying
Okay,
life, having
okay.
fun, listening to music, jumping
Yeah.
everywhere, and yeah, it was easy. We didn't have. I think my first Christmas gift was I was like 3 years old, and after maybe it was when I was 10. But we never cry about it. It was okay. It's fine. We yeah. So
let me
yeah.
let me ask you this then. I'm very curious to hear. I guess what was France like growing up for you? What was that city like? That country like?
So the thing is, I was in the countryside. So when people hear France, they see Paris, everything crazy, a lot of cars. You know, I we I lived with cows and horses. I mean,
Okay.
we have not a lot of cars. Everybody was knew everybody. My mom and dad were working an hour and a half far from home. So after school, I was with my sis or I was with someone's family, and it was like that. It was easy. And then when we moved to French Guiana, that was totally different. We were in the capital, and the mentality is different. You know, um,
Okay.
I I learned actually I learned about racism when I was there, not well, not when I was with the white people. It was when I was more or less home with my people. That's
Really?
where I learned. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. I felt it so bad. I wasn't, I wasn't one of them because I wasn't born in French Guiana. So I wasn't one of them, and they were rejecting a lot of people from other countries. I learned
And,
racism there.
I'm curious, like, I guess, what did you experience? May I ask?
So they were considering me like rich just because I was born in France, and it wasn't that at all. And I was really so. For example, there's a lot of people from Haiti in French Guiana, and they were giving me this vision of people from Haiti were bad, or people from Jamaica too. That was terrible, honestly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and but we often say that we are not born racist, and honestly, this is true. I When I was in France with those white people, I've never felt that. They never like touch my hair to be like, oh, or something like that. After
Hmm.
school, I was in a white family, and it was all fine. I was just, having something to eat with a child, and it was all cool. In French Guiana, was totally different. So it was a shock for me, um, but I think it built, you tougher after those type of experience.
Ah,
So I think it was not that easy, but it was good for me too. I always thank my mom for that because I've learned other things too. Nothing wasn't, everything wasn't negative. I've learned so many things. I've learned to dance samba there from Brazil. Uh,
samba. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Samba, yeah, and I
Samba
started
de
to,
Caballero.
oh, and I started to
Definitely.
dance there, and I started to play basketball there. I started to play tennis table there. I studied a lot of things in French Guiana too, so everything was not negative.
Sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this, then. You kind of spoke on your child and everything. I'm very curious. Is dancing something that you've always grown up doing?
So we were dancing like that with family, nothing special, and I really started in French Guiana. So I was a part of. Uh, so I couldn't go really to dance school. My mom couldn't afford it, but that's cool. That's okay. Um, I was in groups. I went to dance, different dance groups, and I started to dance like that, learning samba there, and started to dance with other kids there. Um, then when we moved back to France, I was 13, and I was in another Caribbean group when I learned more. I was dancing on soca, merengue, calypso, all this type of music. Um,
I
yeah.
get you.
So
Yeah, and you have quite the, I guess, like, diverse background.
yes,
And I think the word is like eclectic. You know what I'm saying? Like you gather experiences from a whole bunch of different cultures and everything. It's quite impressive.
yeah, yes, definitely. And I'm super curious about dance. So every time I try I try something else. Hmm.
So real quick, did your parents guide you towards, I guess, dance, or was it something that you kind of gravitated on your own?
It's something I wanted to do. So when I was a kid, I had too much I had too much energy. So I needed to do a lot of things that I always wanted to dance. So my
Yeah,
mom
okay.
found a way for me to dance and to do sports. So I was playing basketball and dancing. Um, and tennis table. I was good at tennis table. Now, poof, but
Tennis table. Okay, so you call it tennis table. Some people
yeah,
call it
how do you
table
call it?
tennis, table tennis,
Oh,
or
table
ping,
tennis.
or ping
Table
pong.
tennis. That's the ping pong. I call it ping pong. I don't even know how in English you say that. So ping pong is fine for me. So
Tennis. Well, we're gonna call it tennis table from now on.
table tennis, ping pong. You get it. So
Yeah.
I will stick with
Yeah.
ping pong because this is the word I know. And so I was playing all that. But dancing, I injured my knee and I kept ping pong and dance, and then I only kept dance when I came back to France.
Oh, okay, okay, I got you.
Hmm.
So you said, you're growing up, you're big into table tennis, you did a little basketball, did a little bit of dancing. I guess I'm very curious, what happens for you after you graduate high school?
So what is high school?
Ooh,
How old?
so I guess before you go to university.
Okay, so it's like 16, 17, right?
Yeah, 16, 17, 18,
Okay.
exactly.
So at this time, I was in France, close to Paris, in a group with my sister and other amazing people. I stayed in this group like maybe 7 years. We were going. So I had an interesting time when I was a teenager because during the weekend most of the time you go with other teenagers to go to the movies, something like that. I
Exactly.
was dancing with my my friends around. friends. So that was
Okay.
pretty cool. I was working, but I loved it. I, I don't miss anything. That was pretty cool. So that's what I was doing until I turned 19. 19, I moved to Lyon alone, and it's where I started salsa.
You moved to where? Sierra Leone, or where'd you move to?
Lyon, it's a city, I would say, in center of France.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So I moved there alone.
And and real
And
quick, why that
mhm.
city of all the places to move to? Why Lyon?
So basically, I applied to different schools, and Lyon was one of the best for what I wanted to do. Well, Lyon had the best schools, I would say, for what I wanted to do, and I already had a cousin who used to live there. And I visited. I was like, oh, I love this city. Let me move there. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And so
hmm
tell me then, I'm very curious to hear. I guess what was living in Lyon like? What was that experience like for you?
I loved it. Lyon is now it's my city. I would love to go back to Paris to be closer to my family, but I love Lyon. Lyon is beautiful. It's smaller than Paris, but you still have everything. It's closer to the mountain. It's like an hour and a half far from the mountain. It's 2 hours far from the beach. It's close to a lot of countries too. It's like I think it's 4 or 5 hours far from Spain, 4 hours far from Italy, 2 hours far from Switzerland, 3 hours far from Germany. It's like it's a great city.
Yeah, so it sounds
And
like in the middle of everything. That's pretty cool.
yes, yes, definitely. I loved it. And um yeah, you have everything there. So I could dance, I could go to, I don't know, theater, see some concerts, everything. So it's a great city and great schools.
And so let me ask you this real quick. I'm very curious to hear. I've never had a chance to visit France. So I guess what is the dance scene like in France?
So it's really diverse.
And real quick, I
Um,
think the only thing I have heard of is Just Debut. Have you heard of that?
yes, just
Okay,
to
okay, yeah.
do.
That's very
Yes,
popular.
the of course. Yep, yep. So that's yeah, exactly. So it's really diverse in the sense that for different style, you can really find good schools, a lot of talents, the twins, you know, or other people in salsa or whatever the dance you want. That's what I love in France. Art is it's it's kind of everywhere there. So after that, of course, it's like in the US, you have some cities when you have less possibilities, of course. But in France in general, if you want to dance, if you want to learn how to dance, you will find something in the main cities or even smaller ones.
And,
So
and when you say you find something else, I guess like what is it big hip hop or is it big Latin or like African? Like what? Or is it just a combination of everything?
honestly, if you wanna dance hip hop, you will find. If you wanna dance Latin dances, you will find. African dances, for example, a lot of different type of African dances you will find because there's a big diaspora, African diaspora there. So you will find that. All the how do you call that? Like vals or waltz or those type of dances, you will find that there too. So
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay,
hmm
okay. So you said the show. You said you moved to Lyon and
hmm
you got introduced to salsa. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I had some basics, but just when you dance with your father, is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You don't do a lot of things.
Right.
Uh, so I knew the music and I have some basics, and I decided to start really seriously to dance. I think I was so there's one of the nicest salsa party of Lyon. It's on Mondays. It's a huge party. I was there when they started. They had one room, so one room is like 200 people, something like that, who
Oh
were
wow.
coming. Yeah, and that was, I think, I don't remember, but I think it was in 2007 or 8 they started. And 10 years after, I was there last year or 2 years ago. Now they have three rooms, one bachata room and two rooms for salsa, and it's massive.
Nice.
It's
Okay.
it's really huge.
Wait, real
Yeah.
quick. What's the name of this club or place? What's the name of the place you're talking about?
Yeah, so it's Ninkasi in Lyon, and it's a huge bar, and they host concerts and something like that. And every Monday you have the salsa night, and it's awesome. You meet a lot of people, and it's always great. Everybody dance with everybody. So I was there every Monday.
Hey. So let
Yeah,
me ask you this then. Going back to how old were you when you first started learning salsa? Or I guess when you first started taking classes, Leon, how old were you?
I was 19, 19, 20, something like that.
Okay. So going back to that time period, you're 19, 20, trying to really improve your salsa. I'm very curious to hear, what was your beginner stage like?
Oh, so I am the example to not follow. I am really the example to not follow. So I basically was going to social and that's it. I wasn't taking classes. I was
Okay.
just saying to people, "Hey, if you explain to me this and this, I can learn." And I always dance with the music mean I was just expressing myself. So, oh, I have to tell you that in Lyon they dance mainly Cuban. So it's
Okay, Cuban
all,
salsa, rueda, right?
yeah, yeah. So it's a lot of, fun and yeah. It's so for me I was like, nah, that's fine. I can I can figure that out. So people don't follow my example, take classes.
Okay, and so wait, real quick.
Hmm.
Maybe go further in depth though. Why do you say not, and why do you say at the beginner stage to only you don't recommend going to only socials? Why do you
To only
advise
socials.
against that?
I would advise it because I have no technique. So when I dance
Okay.
salsa, I dance, I will follow, but I will do a lot of mistakes. So on in Cuban, honestly, most of the time people are smiling and stuff. We are laughing, and I never really had a lead who dropped me. They were always laughing. I'm always smiling a lot and playing with the music, so it was okay. But when I moved to UK and I started like line style, oh, that was terrible.
I
I took classes
understand.
there. I took classes. I was like, oh, okay. Because if
Okay.
you are out of the line or something like that, oh, mm-mm.
Right.
So, and when they were doing Reda, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you saying? I don't know what you're saying. I was
I
following,
understand.
but yeah.
Nah,
So,
so wait, real quick. So I guess if you're a beginner learning a dance style, would you recommend then a balance of taking classes and going to socials? Is that what you recommend?
oh yeah, definitely. It's what I've done after for line style salsa. I was taking classes. So I was going to social with classes, and I was trying my best to attend the class. And I remember because I learned line style in UK, and I went to the beginner class. Beginner. Like beginner with people who never dance. And I was dancing for many years already. So the teacher was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I don't know this style." He's like, "You're not a beginner." So you can jump to intermediate. But I prefer
Yeah.
that the teacher tell me that, you know, and I prefer to take beginner class. That's so I always take beginner class. In all the dances I tried after, I always took beginner class and I was waiting for the teacher to tell me, okay, you can go straight to intermediate or stay here. Yeah.
Okay, I
I always
understand
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
And so wait, real quick, you said you eventually moved on to line, which is I guess like on one, on two salsa.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
where was that at exactly?
In UK,
In
Birmingham.
UK? Okay,
Hmm.
Birmingham. And so real quick, tell me, who was your first, I guess, on one, on two salsa instructor? Who was that?
So it's a man called Mauricio Reyes. Is still teaching in Birmingham, UK. Um, great, great. So for, I need to explain. In 2014, I moved to UK alone again, and the first thing that I've done without, I mean, before moving there, I subscribed to all the salsa party. Like all the page, like. Okay, because when I moved to UK, I need to go there to meet people. So I moved there like on Saturday, something like that, and Tuesday night I was there. I went to a salsa party and they all welcomed me. Really, that was awesome.
That's the dance community, yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah, that was great. Never, I knew nobody, and they're like, "Okay, come." I was going to the class, meet everybody, and I met, yeah, I've met friends there, really. So they're my friends now. It's a great community.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a lot of dance communities that, very welcoming, very warm.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, I guess, what what makes you move so much? It seems like you've moved a lot in your life. Is it just the desire to see different things and experience different places, or do you not like staying in the same place for a long time?
I'm not stable. No. The thing is, when I have an opportunity, if I because I don't have a husband, I don't have kids, so I can do it. So that's why. And so that's the first thing. The second is I wanted to improve my English, um, because staying in France wasn't enough. So my English is not perfect now, but it's way better to what it was like 10 years ago.
Okay, I mean, I can
Um,
have a conversation with you. Say your English is fine,
that's pretty good.
and I'll say your English is way better than my French. I'll say that definitely.
That's good then. So that was the first reason why I moved to UK was to improve my English and still, be not too far from the family, and have an experience abroad for, my professional career. Um, then US is another step because, as I said, I used to play basketball. Um, used to sing, Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson and everything. So I was like, oh, I need to live in the US at some point in my life. I always say that to my mom since I'm 8 or 9. So I always try to have an opportunity to go to the US and live there. So yeah, when in 2018 I had it, I just jump on it, and
Mhm.
that's
And
why
so
I'm here.
and so real quick, are you just I guess how are you providing for yourself? Are you just taking random odd jobs whenever you can?
No, I'm an engineer.
Okay, that's awesome. And so that's what you went to school for then.
Yes.
And what kind of engineer to be specific?
So my title is I have a master in industrial engineering, but and I have a mechanical background.
Oh my goodness, I can
The
only imagine how difficult that was.
yeah, that was fun to be with men only. That was cool.
Hey, no, that means you are very smart. You said mechanical, and what was the other one?
Oh, industrial. So I
Oh my,
just did. Yeah.
you are extremely intelligent.
No, I'm not. I'm just faking. You just need to put some glasses and pretend.
I'll keep that in mind then for the future.
Exactly. Try.
Okay, I got you. So you're an engineer. I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
so
that's a lot of things that I don't talk about.
I understand. I understand. Okay. So okay. So you're an engineer, and so you're engineer by day, dancer by night. Is that what it is?
Yes, basically.
Okay, okay, I get you. So you're learning salsa in Birmingham and
Hmm.
Lyon. I
Yes.
guess I guess what do you learn after salsa? Is there anything that comes after that?
Kizomba eventually
Okay, well, and so
arrived.
hey, and so real quick, let me ask you this then: how did you first get introduced to Kizomba?
So, as I told you, I have origins from French Caribbean. So you know that we have Zouk there, and we listen to Zouk, you know, since I was born.
And so
And
real quick, just to make a
sure,
difference, you're speaking of Caribbean zouk and not
of,
Brazilian zouk music.
so you have to know that with me, if I say Zouk,
It's Caribbean.
exactly, because we it's Zouk.
That's the original
Brazilian
zouk.
Zouk is
So
Brazilian
yeah, I mean,
Zouk.
it's not even a music genre. It's really a dance style. But Caribbean zouk being was Kassav big for you?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. Kassav is like I don't know. It's it's our I don't know Michael Jackson or something. It's whatever your age, you know Kassav.
That's especially your father's from Guadalupe. I heard it's really big down there, right?
Yes, it is. It is. We are super proud of them. We love them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you were saying though, we said you were listening. I cut you off. I apologize, but you said you were listening to Zouk, or what were you saying about how you got introduced
So
to Kizomba?
yes, so I was so we grew up. I grew up with Zouk, and one of my cousin. Um, so I was in Lyon when I was introduced to Kizomba, and one of my cousins from Paris in 2009 told me, "Hey, do you know about this dance?" Because she knew that I was dancing. And I was like, "Oh, do you know about this dance and stuff?" I was like, "No." I knew about the music more or less because um, we have like Kabozuk, which what people call Ghettozouk. We used to call that Kabozuk, and we used to listen to that
Ah,
for
okay.
many years. And my cousin said, "Yeah, they're dancing on Cabo. You should check that out when he will come to Lyon." So I said, "Okay, fine." She was in a school in Paris learning Kizomba from I think it was 2008 or beginning of 2009, something like that. She was in Tecas school in Paris. She already had went to an event in Portugal, something like that. And I was like, okay, I need to check that out. So I think it was in September, October 2009. I had my first class in Lyon with Arun and Fatim, who are not teaching anymore for many, many years now. But I started with them there, and we were 10. Like it was really, really the first classes. I remember we were going to bars and we were like putting music for 2 hours before they kick us out. So it was the very beginning um, with them. I should say. So yeah, end of 2009 I started. Then 2010, 2011 I I was keep dancing more or less. I was still heavy, I would say, in salsa, and I was taking my kizomba class, going to social. Um, People like Tony Pirata started to come often,
Hey
something
Tony, I
like
like
that.
Tony. He's really good.
Then 2012, I had to I had to go abroad for my master, and I went to Sweden. So in Sweden, oh yeah, so I had a friend in Lyon who told me, "Oh, you dance kizomba. I my one of my closest friend teach it, teach it in Sweden, in Gothenburg. I was like, what? Really? He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. His name is Greg Martin. I said,
Ah.
okay. You know him?
Honestly, I don't know
Had you
Greg
heard about
Martin. Is,
him?
is he popular? I don't.
Yeah. So now he's teaching urban keys, and
Mhm.
he's the one who created Sweden Kizomba Festival.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And Sweden Kizomba Festival is really, really a great festival. I think it's their sixth year in February already.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. And he said, oh, you should contact him and, go to dance with him. I was like, perfect. So the thing is, when I stayed in Gothenburg, Sweden for 2 months, and the 2 months, it was exactly the time that he was doing a 8 weeks course to learn the
Nice.
basics of Kizomba. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Seriously.
Yeah. So the 2 months in Sweden was great. I was dancing Kizomba. I was dancing Salsa because they are great in Salsa too. And since Greg is my dear, dear friend, Kizomba people all over the world really, I've got a lot of good friends thanks to Kizomba. So,
Of course, and me as well.
yeah.
From the dance community, yes, of course. I made a lot of great friends.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's how you got introduced, and that was your beginner stage.
Yeah.
Um, I guess let me ask you this then. Like, so you started with Kizomba. Now I'm very curious. Were you being taught urban kids that was called Kizomba, or was it actually traditional Kizomba?
At this time, urban in 2012, we didn't have urban keys. Even French style arrived around 2013, 2014.
Okay,
Isabelle and Félicien and everything started a little bit after. He, Greg Martin, even if now he's dancing urban keys, he's teaching urban keys, but he had been trained by Petru and stuff. So
hey
yeah,
Petchu, I know
it was
Petchu definitely.
Kizomba. Hmm. So it was
And,
Kizomba at this time.
okay, that's awesome. I'm curious. Were you doing any Simba at that time as well, or no?
I was a little bit I had an introduction to Semba thanks to the parties because in Gothenburg they used to do parties and inviting people from Cape Verde and Angola, and they were, you know, putting the music they they wanted. And I had some Samba that I was in, and I was introduced to Samba and Afro house there
Okay, okay, I
in
get you.
Sweden. Yeah,
Okay. See, I would have never known that Sweden an amazing dancing.
you see, they are. It was a good surprise.
Yeah,
It
I
was
bet.
really a good surprise. Yeah. Every time I go back, so and it's been 8 years now. Oh my gosh, 8 years already. And then every
Wow.
time I go back, I saw some of them who were with me in the first class I took there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then. You've been dancing and traveling, pretty much your whole life. Let me ask you this real quick. Um, what are some lessons that you learned from dancing that you can translate to your everyday life?
That's a good question. From dancing, hmm, that's a really good question. I never thought about it. I would say the fact that you don't you, you can't take one class and be an excellent dancer.
Oh, okay. Or just do something one time and expect to be great at it.
Exactly. So in life it's the same. You can't go to the gym today and say I will drop 10 pounds.
Right, right.
You know, it's everything is a progression, and you need training. You need training for everything in life. When you go to a new job, if you don't know the tool, you need training.
Yep.
So it's the same for for dance. Yeah, some people they sometimes they get frustrated, and I can understand. But you need training. You need to sometime. If you take 1 hour, for example, you will have 2 person who start Kizomba at the same time. One is doing 2 hours per week and social, and the other will do 1 hour. Of course, after 6 months, you will see a difference
Of
between
course,
those
of
two.
course.
So it's the same, And life for me, it's every time if I don't achieve a goal, I blame nobody except me, because
Mm,
I know that I didn't, put enough work and I didn't train enough or something like that. And I think dance taught me patience.
okay.
Mm,
And what do you mean by that? What do you mean patience? Patience to get better and not try and rush things, or what?
exactly, patience to when you want to reach another level, you need work, but you need to be patient. You can't get it like that, you know. You can't be an excellent dancer within a week. You need to be patient, consistent, do it over and over, and it will come or not. But we need to try, and that's what happened with the US. I tried to move to the US since 2012. I tried every year to find a way to come here. I was like, okay, I will never come. That's fine. And 2018. So yeah, be patient.
I
You
understand.
never know. hmm
Well,
And actually, I had this opportunity because I was better at my job, and they saw my profile and they say, "Oh my God, this is the experience we wanted." But you see, maybe in 2010, I didn't have this experience, so they would never hire me.
uh,
Yeah.
let me ask you this real quick. When did you say you started getting into Afro House?
So I started to have a taste of it in 2012, and I was really into it when I moved in 2014 in UK.
Mm,
So I was in Birmingham. You have to know that Birmingham, it's a nice scene. In Kizomba and Salsa, but it's a nice dance scene. You have really nice people. And Kizomba, so the Salsa and Kizomba scene were often together because it was at the same place where I was going. And there's a guy called James. So
James,
it
what?
was the one who was teaching, James Chong, who was teaching Kizomba there. And at this time, so still now I would say, but we had great parties when people from London and Manchester was coming. Like traveling 2 hours, 2 hours and a half to go to those parties because they were good. Gelas was coming to DJ for us.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yes, yes. That's where I met Gelas, and that's where I met Eddie Vance.
Okay, I've had Eddie Vince on the show, man. He's an amazing
Oh,
person.
me too. So yeah,
Yeah, Eddie's the man.
I've met Eddie in 2014 during a party in Birmingham. He was there, invited Gelas. That's where I met the both of them. Um, and that's in Birmingham. We had a lot of things for Kizomba. So James were inviting teachers to come. So Rico, he was with Josie at this time. They came. Isabelle Crépin came. Michael. He invited a lot of people, and Eddie was around. Um, so yeah, the Kizomba was really 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 big in UK. Um, I've met my dear Lucia there too in London.
Yeah, Lucia Noguera. I've had her on the show as
Yes.
well.
Oh yeah, this
Lucia is
incredible
amazing.
woman. Yes, she is. I learned so much from her. Whew.
Believe it?
And
I definitely know it.
yeah, I learn I learn not only dance from her. So that's her power because she's a great lady. She will she will teach you kindness and you don't even notice.
Hey,
So kindness, but still, how can I say that? She's some type of tough. She will tell you things, but if you treat her right, I would say she's amazing. Yeah. So
I,
and she's a great dancer. Um, yeah. So UK was great, and I've been introduced to Afro because of the parties. So they always had Afro, and I was always dancing, thinking I knew what I was doing. And people was like, okay, you need to do a class, you need to do a class. So I started to teach for my friend, my close friend who were around, just some moves. And I was like, okay, I need to be trained because I don't know what I'm doing. So I started to travel for Afro, mainly, in Switzerland, in Portugal, in France. Um, and I've met Blaya. Do you know Blaya?
I don't think I do. No, ma'am.
So
Wait, you said
Blaya is Blaya, Blaya.
okay, okay. I
Blaya.
thought you no,
Blaya.
man. I don't.
So Blaya is an incredible lady, international dancer, ex-MTV dancer, and everything. Where she was a part of Buraka Sound Sistema, a big group. I will send you all the names if you want.
Please.
Um, so she was dancing and singing for them, like an international superstar. Um, and incredible Afro house slash kuduro dancer. She lives in Lisbon, and she told like, the first time I saw her was in London. I remember it was on the it was on a Wednesday. I used to live 2 hours and a half from London. After work, I took a train, go to London, took a class,
Dedicated.
and go back home. I was like a groupie. That was awesome. And in Switzerland, I think it was 2014, something like that. Um, I came to. She did a weekend, so it was an intensive weekend, Afrohouse Kuduro,
Uh-huh.
and we were not a lot of students. We were like 20 or something like that. So really intimate. You can spend some time with the artists, talk to them, and I was explaining to her that the Angolans in UK didn't teach Afrohouse, so I didn't want it to, I wasn't expected to be an excellent, like advanced dancer, but I wanted to teach the basics. So we were just talking like that, and I was explaining that I was taking the class for this, for this. And she told me, "Do you want me to be your mentor?" I was like, "What? What?" so so that's
Sounds
how it
amazing.
started, really.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And she she took the time to train me. She really took the time to train me. So I will always be thankful for that because she didn't know me at all. I wasn't living in Portugal and anything, and she did that for me. So yeah, that was incredible.
Okay, okay. I understand that. Let me ask you this. So I guess, um, when did you start teaching? Like what year? I guess.
So I started in 2015 Afro, and I started in 2000. I think the same year, something like that. Kizomba.
So you've been teaching
Yeah.
since 2015. Let me ask you this then, real quick. You know, what are some common mistakes that you've seen in your classes, whether it be Afro House or Kizomba? You know, what are some common mistakes that you've seen in your classes that you wish you could, rectify?
From students?
Yes, ma'am, from students.
So let me think about it. Okay. So I the way I see Kizomba compared to I would say salsa, it's if you focus on the step first, you will miss the essence of the dance. Kizomba, you need to understand the feeling and I would say the groove of it to enjoy it really. If you just take steps, you will miss it. And for me, most of the beginners, and I understand why, so I don't blame them at all. When you go to when you go to take a dance class, you want to learn the step, and I get it, but you, I think that's what we need to teach them. Is listen to the music, dance on the music, and like be soft on it. Not do not expect to have steps. I will give you a story for you maybe to understand more what I'm saying.
Okay.
I went to a festival in Portugal, in Lisbon, like in 2015, and Gracevora was performing live with a live band. Beautiful. I was enjoying my time alone, listening to the music, and someone invited me. Of course, no problem. And he said, "Listen, I'm a super beginner. I just started a month ago." Okay, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
He knew three steps. I swear, three steps. That was one of the greatest dance I had.
and and
That was,
and so and can you put into words why he only knew three steps? Why
yeah,
was it such a great dance?
because he was listening to the music. It was smooth, really smooth, side to side. We travel a little bit, we turn. That's fine. He was listening to the music, pausing, taking his time, going back to the tempo. He was just dancing on the music and he was really smooth, nothing brutal, no need to do a lot of steps. And sometimes that's all you need to appreciate a nice dance. I was like, whoa, a really good musicality with simple steps. That was really good.
And so real quick, I definitely understand what you're saying, and what I hear when you tell me that story is that the person you were dancing with, he was being present and in the moment,
Yeah,
and he was
yeah,
he was listening to the music and
exactly.
not just doing steps like you said.
Yeah. And I was like, see, that was good. Yeah. So I think that's the main mistake that a lot of beginners will do is to try to have a lot of steps but miss the essence of the dance.
Mm.
So that's for Kizomba. And for Afro, it's um, Afro House actually it's really technical. Um, and some beginners will get frustrated because they won't see what they want to see. Even if we do the same step, we won't look the same way. And it's normal. But a lot of people are impatient, and I can understand that too.
Right.
Yeah. So It's really one type of dance you need to practice to start to feel it. You need to listen to the music, dance on it, have fun on it to really feel it and appropriate your own style. So yeah.
Definitely understand. I definitely understand that. Let me ask you this real quick. When I say the word musicality, what does that mean to you?
Sorry, I it just cut.
Oh, my fault. I apologize. When I say the word musicality, what does that mean to
hmm
you?
So musicality for me will be the art of expressing yourself on the music, even if you don't know the music. So I on purpose I said that because I see a lot of musicality on ba ba bam boom 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 and we eat everything. For me that's it's not only that. You don't need to hit all the beat to be musical.
Okay.
You can understand the way the music is going. You can float for a moment, you know, do a long step and arrive at the good moment and blah 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 blah. Like talking with the music. And the music it's not only so the music can be the instrument and the voice. Playing with that, playing with the instruments, playing with the voice. Take your time, pause, go back. And not only stepping all the time. So it's
So,
really an art to play with the music, instrument and voice. Um, yeah, to express yourself through that, but it's not only to hit all the beats. I disagree with this definition.
I understand that. And so let me ask you the follow-up question then, how does one improve their musicality?
I think the more you listen to the music and the more you try to express yourself on it, you will improve your musicality. Not the same music, music in general. When you know music, more or less you know the way a music will go. I will give you another example. Last 2 weekends ago, I was invited I was invited in Houston Salsa Congress. Huge congress.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. I loved it. And I danced with someone. I don't dance salsa for a while now, so there's a lot of music that I don't know. And I was dancing with this person, and he said, "Do you know this music?" And I said, "No," because I was playing with the music. I
Oh,
and I was hitting some beats, and he's like, "How did you know?" Because I know music in general.
right.
I've been listening to salsa for way too long to not know more or less the way we go. Sometimes you don't know, of course, because you have surprises in some songs,
Exactly. Right.
but there's something that you can feel that it's coming and something like that. So that will be my vision of musicality. I I will say if you have a definition proper and if you have books to to recommend, please people let me know because
Uh-huh.
I'm really curious. I really try. I've learned a lot about musicality, and there's a lot of different vision, but this is mine.
No, I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that. Let me let me ask you this final question real quick, all right?
hmm
Can you give me one tip that can make anyone a better dancer immediately?
Okay, listen to the music. So when you listen to the music and when you try to dance on the music, you will see how more beautiful it is. Don't try to do million steps that won't fit on the music. It's not enjoyable. Listen to the music, take your time, yeah, and just enjoy on it. That's it.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. From a beginner's perspective, a beginner may feel like, okay, I'm listening to the music, but I feel like the dance may be boring because I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. From a beginner's perspective, who may feel like they don't have or know enough. And I guess
Hmm.
what would you say to that person who is scared of making the dance boring for their partner?
Hmm. Honestly, to I'm saying that because I dance. I play with the music. To be really really transparent, I was a beginner too, but I wasn't a beginner dancer. But I was a beginner in Kizomba, and I was never bored because I was playing with the music. I started to lead too, like a beginner, and I had in my toolbox I had two steps,
Uh,
but I had fun because I was playing with the music. Honestly, it's maybe that doesn't really speak to you, but if with two steps or three steps, if you listen to the music and you play with it, you can dance 4 minutes, no problem, without getting bored. You go, you dance the two step on the beat. You go slower. You go one direction, two direction. You turn. That's it. But you just play. You go slow. You go fast, and that's it. Honestly, and the more you listen to the music and you play with it, the more you will have on your in your toolbox, the better it will be. But when you start, and that's why we need to start baby steps, baby steps. I started I started a new dance 2 years ago. I started
what?
jive,
Okay, all right, sure enough.
and baby steps. No and I had fun. They knew I was beginner. We were doing always the same thing, but they had the variation on some things. So I started jive, I started swing. So you had the variation of some basic steps. I was laughing all the time. I was having fun, and it was
Okay,
really basic steps, but with a little variation, and it's cool.
I understand. I definitely understand that. So yeah, having fun and just playing with the music,
Yeah,
which can be very like generic advice for someone, but I understand what you mean. I'm hoping other people can
I
gain some
know
some
it can
insight
be
from it.
really generic,
Yeah.
but if people really think about it, I always say I have a musicality class in Afro, and I was teaching people how to listen to the music and how to clap on it, and on it just clap, not dance, just clapping. And just from that, they're like, oh, that's a lot of work. Yes, because music is rich. So when I say you have three steps and you play with the music, trust me, there's a lot of work. If you really listen to it, if you listen to the instruments and if you listen to the voice, there's a lot of things to do.
Yeah, it's so much. It's so many different elements of the song that you can connect to. So I definitely understand what you mean.
Exactly. Yes.
I understand what you mean. Um, I think really at this point, I really want to, thank you, Sayana, for taking time with you to talk to me.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, of course, of course, of course. Let me ask you this real quick. What are some of the upcoming events that you have going on in your
All
life?
right. So let me tell you this. February, I will be for the first time in Detroit. I'm super happy to go there. February 22nd, Heather Musalam is inviting me, so I will teach some body movement, Afro and Semba there, and there will be a social. Then March will be really busy, but I love it. I will be back in North Carolina, Fayetteville again. Ashley Good, you have to contact her. Then I will have my event, the only one of the year. So my event, it's Sweaty Edition Semba. It will take
Oh,
place in Maryland.
okay.
So we'll have two social Friday night, Saturday night with a DJ coming from France called DJ Lemzo. He is my favorite. That's why I'm bringing him.
Hey, awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, he never came. It will be his first time in North America. First
Oh
time.
man.
So yeah, nobody need to. You need to come. This will be awesome. Oscar BA is the other DJ, and I will teach Semba with T-Boy on Saturday.
Okay, I know T Boy. I definitely.
Yes. So
When is this event? When is it?
it's March 13 and 14.
Of 2020.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's
Yes, yes,
awesome.
yes. And
Real
then
quick.
I will
Oh,
be in this again, sorry, on end of March with Cherry Blossom Festival.
okay. I've heard good things about Cherry Blossom Fest. I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I'm curious. Do you have any weekly classes, or is it just
For the moment, no, and hopefully I will find a good studio and I will start weekly classes. For the moment, I'm just going here and there, trying to, help the community to grow. And I'm really happy about that. I love meeting new people. So yeah, I'm excited. I will be later in Denver. Then I need to go back to the West Coast to see Lucia and Solange and support
hey,
them.
hey?
Yeah. So I'm always happy to go everywhere and support the community really.
That sounds awesome. That sounds wonderful.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this: how can people get in contact with you? How can they reach out to you?
So they can add me on Facebook, Sayana Isid'or. That's my main page when you will see all my jokes and all my posts about dance. And for my page, it's Sayana Semba Fro. And for sweaty events only, it's sweaty Afro dance events. So yeah, you can contact me there. Send me a message for anything, and I will reply for sure.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like I said, Sayana, I really want to thank you so much, for taking time with you to talk to me.
Thank you. That was great. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course, of course. Real quick before we close this out, is there any last thing you want to share with the people, before we close this episode out?
Okay. I want to say first for Afro House and Afrobeat, please people don't be afraid to take classes. Um, it may be look fast and difficult, but it's not. It's just super fun, and it will help you to express yourself a little bit more honestly. So don't be scared when you see Afro House, Afrobeat class with me or anybody else in an event, in a festival, in a congress, whatever. Um, the other thing I want to say is don't be afraid to invite anybody as a lead, as a follow. Dance with everyone. That's great to dance with your friends, but the more you dance with other people, the more you will improve your dance.
So true.
And to finish, the Kizomba community is a great community. It's a nice community. We need to keep it like positive. And for for all my friends, teachers, students, most of the event that you see, it's for the community. Means we are not here to make millions. To be honest, we are really doing that for us to enjoy, learn and everything. So let's keep going. Let's keep doing this. And yeah, we keep spreading the love everywhere.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hmm.
I, I think that's a wonderful way to close out this episode of the Two Leafy Podcast. I want to thank you so much, Sayana. Um, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Terence.
Hey, hey, take it easy, Sayana.
You too.